Most people show up to a mastermind expecting a lightning bolt moment, one big insight that cracks everything open. And then they leave, wondering why nothing changed. But what if the whole point isn't the moment, it's the machine? Let's talk about the flywheel, because this concept quietly separates the people who build wealth by accident from the ones who build it by design. A flywheel, for those who didn't grow up in a physics class or a Jeff Bezos biography, is a wheel that stores rotational energy. The more you spin it, the less energy it takes to keep it moving, and the harder it becomes to stop. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because most people walk into a mastermind room the same way they walk into a seminar notepad ready, highlighter out, hoping someone drops a golden nugget they can screenshot and never act on. That's not a strategy. That's a hobby, an expensive one at that. The actual mechanic is something beautifully boring and almost insultingly simple. You get in the room with people who've already done what you're trying to do. You learn, you implement, you grow, and then, and this is the part everyone skips, you bring that growth back to the room. You don't just consume the room, you feed it. Here's the irony that nobody talks about. The people who think they have the least to offer a mastermind are usually the ones the room needs most. Because fresh struggle, real-time problem solving, and beginner's honesty are rocket fuel for a group that's already comfortable. Your chaos is someone else's mirror. Think about what happens at the macro level when this compounds over, say, 3 or 4 cycles, and by cycles we mean quarterly or annual rotations back into the room. The insights get sharper because you've tested them in the field. The relationships deepen because trust is built on shared experience and not shared intentions. And the strategies refine themselves because failure is the best editor in the business. The behavioral economics piece here is actually wild when you sit with it. Humans are wired to overestimate what one conversation can do and catastrophically underestimate what a dozen conversations over 2 years can do. We want the seminar high, the retreat revelation, the one phone call that changes everything, when the actual wealth building mechanism looks a lot more like boring, disciplined re-entry into the same room with better questions each time. Historically, the most durable networks, the ones that built generational businesses and real estate empires, weren't built around one genius in a room. They were built around rooms that got smarter together. Think the Junto Club Benjamin Franklin ran in 1727, or the mastermind model Napoleon Hill documented decades later, groups defined not by who was in them once, but by who kept showing up. Here's what people get wrong about masterminds, and it's a misconception worth killing on sight. They assume the value is in the information exchanged, when the real value is in the accountability, the identity shift, and the social proof that surrounds you when you're inside a room of people already living the life you're building toward. Information is everywhere. Context, calibration, and community are not. So what's the practical move here? You don't need to find the perfect mastermind on day one. You need to find one where the average member is operating at a level that makes you slightly uncomfortable, because discomfort is just compound interest on your growth rate. And you need to commit to the cycle, not the session. Position sizing matters here too, just like in investing. Don't bet your entire identity on one breakthrough conversation, because the ones who crash out of masterminds are usually the ones who came in looking for salvation instead of systems. Come in humble, come in consistent, and come back every single time with something you actually implemented, even if it half worked. The philosophical truth underneath all of this is that wealth by design isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about never being in a room where you're not growing, and never leaving a room without making it stronger than you found it. Discipline, sizing, and consistency beat conviction and timing every single time. You will never have to figure this out alone if you refuse to be someone who insists on figuring it out alone. And that choice, made repeatedly over years, is the flywheel. Every rotation compounds, every cycle accelerates, and the room that made you better gets better because you came back. Whether you're just starting out or already spinning the wheel faster than you ever expected, the move is always the same. Stay in the room, do the work, come back. And if you're ready to take that first real step, whether it's through real estate investing, home contracting work, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below and let's get you started.